Hey, Pottery peeps! So the long-awaited nativity is what we're doing today. This actually, Sandy, my student, came up with this idea, and she drew a pattern, and she's even made the template available. I don't know if you can see this and the directions, somewhat directions. I actually will be putting this together for you, but I will link where you can go and get this template that she has painstakingly learned how to do, and it's in a PDF form so that you can just print it out and cut your own template out. I cut it out with the craft foam so that I would have it. This is Joseph and Mary. Anyway, I'm working with porcelain today, and I have cut it out, or I have rolled it out, sorry. Got too many things going on in my head to, my words. Anyway, so I've rolled it out to a 1/4 of an inch and then compressed both sides. All right, I'm working, like I said, with porcelain. This would work with B-mix. This is a very modern or just sweet look. And of course, I could see, you know, those of you who want to decorate it up even more, you could roll lace into it. You could do all sorts of things. You're just limited by your creativity. Okay, so let me lower you down and we'll make this cute little nativity. Okay, so like I said, I have got, and it's pretty soft porcelain, and it's a 1/4 of an inch. I've already messed it up. So let me get my little marks out. Trying to figure out if I had enough on here to cut my pattern out. So I'm just going to go ahead and cut this out really quick. And you're basically just, you know, of course, cutting one of Joseph. And one of Mary. I'm just going to set that over there for right now. If I remember it, I need to put this one over here. I have actually lately, my B-mix has been giving me cracking issues. And so I've switched to porcelain for hand building, and I'm really enjoying it. The porcelain actually gives me longer time to work with it before it dries out and becomes unworkable. So if you haven't tried porcelain, try it. You might actually find what I'm finding. Okay, so for Mary's dress and also Jesus, baby Jesus, she's using cookie cutters. So, and I just went through I have this set that I got on Amazon years and years ago. So I just went through and found out which one worked, and it's these two that work. So you need to cut 2 of these. Actually, I'm going to cut the big one first. Make sure that I can get them all out of this. And this is her, this is actually the base. And then we're going to cut 2 of these. And then go ahead and roll up some balls for their heads. And this is just approximate. I am doing a bigger one, of course, for Joseph. Smaller one for Mary. And then a little tiny baby one for baby Jesus. So since I just have my clay out, we're going to do that. And that's all we're going to need for the pieces of this. But what I'm going to do before, when I am actually hand building, where did I put, oh, there it is. A lot of you have seen me use this technique. I will soften my edges with a sheet. So I'm going to do that real quick. Okay, another thing that I tend to do with circles that I've cut out is I will roll it on my table just to give it back into shape. Because sometimes taking them out of the cookie cutters and so forth, you morph them. Now, I am going to go ahead and put my stamp in here. Then I will turn my, actually, I'm going to go ahead and roll that again because I pushed it out with the stamp. So this is, the big cookie cutter is our base, okay? All right, so with baby Jesus, and she does notate, or she notes this on the pattern, you're going to want to cut for baby Jesus, and then just a little bit off the bottom for Mary's dress. So just going to double check that these, I might make these a little smaller, the balls. This is actually a pretty fast project, and I think they would sell like gangbusters at a Christmas market. I know they would here. I wish I could do a Christmas market this year, but that's not going to happen, so just got to get over it. So now I am just going to make the swaddle for baby Jesus. I'm just going to do this, then I'm going to come back. Now this is fairly wet clay, but I am going to go ahead and just kind of slip and score that. And I want that to, and then the bottom, you're just going to squeeze that up because he's swaddled. Need some Christmas music. And then I'm just gonna smooth, picked up some clay from my bucket. And if you wanted to, you could even push this up a little bit to show feet, you know, that are in the blanket. But I'm gonna go ahead and leave him swaddled. And then I'm just gonna take my little tool and just do that. Ah! Drop baby Jesus. And I'm just smoothing. So now I am going to score the back of his head. Can't quite get in here, so I'm going to score with my knife. Where'd my brush go? Add some slippy water. And I kind of made the heads a little bit more ovalish. Just to kind of show a chin. And then I'm just going to squeeze the swaddle around him. And just like that, you have baby Jesus. Okay, so we'll set him aside. And then we're going to work on Joseph. Now, the one thing that you're going to want to do is you're going to want to cut, let me see if I can. You're going to want to cut an arrow here. So I'm just going to kind of eyeball this just like with sewing, we've got too much clay here at the top to do what we want it to do. So I just kind of drew an arrow, and then I'm going to cut at a 45 and keep my knife at the same angle and cut that direction so that it looks weird, but it works. And then I'm going to go ahead and score this, both sides of this. Score and slip it. And then I'm going to bring this together. This is our cape, our hood, our robe. I guess it's a robe. And then I am going to spend some time on the bee mix. This kept opening up for me, so I hope on the porcelain it's not going to. I've just been having lots of issues with the new bee mix, to where it's lost my trust, it's betrayed me too many times, and so I've been switching clays. Okay, so I'm going to come in here and compress that seam too and smooth it really well. All right. And I'm just going to clean up my edges here. Then I'm going to take the bottom of this, score this really well, because this is going to go around our base. I'm going to just kind of bring it out here, and I'm going to mark it. And then I'm going to score in between those marks. And I can't find that mark right there. So oh, there it is. And I kind of am scoring and pulling a little bit. This is just because I'm lazy and I don't want to do a coil. So I'm just kind of doing this. Then I'm going to bring Joseph back to the base and push him in to the base. I'm going to go ahead and pick it up and smooth it on the back side. My clay is really soft, so I want to lose that line on the back side here. So I'm just going to work it in. So there's no line. Don't want to see that seam. Okay, and then on the inside, I am going to do the same, where I'm going to just take my tool. Now with porcelain, kind of over press this in like that around the base, at least on this front side. Porcelain has a tendency to remember better than others. It holds a grudge, is what one of my teachers always said, which I always thought was funny. So you gotta work with the memory of porcelain more so than any other clay, because it remembers everything you've ever done to it. All right, I'm just going to double check once I've closed that seam that I didn't like open this bottom seam. And of course, there's always cleanup when you're hand building. Actually, we'll take a drier part. Okay, so now that we have Joseph, his robe, just going to smooth out a little bit here. And this is kind of just your preference. on how you want to do things. So here's his head, and I think his head, actually I'm going to make it a little smaller too. Roll his head. You can do a circle, but I kind of like the oval shape, or at least oval to where there's a chin. That's just my preference. Something like this, you wouldn't necessarily, it wouldn't really matter. So I'm going to score the back of his head, and I'm going to come in here. This is the hood, and I'm just going to score that. And then just kind of twist that in there. I have to push it toward me so I can see. And then I'm pushing that hood down over his head. Okay, so now we need to work on Mary. Now you can do Mary's dress one of two ways or three ways. I'm sure you could do it so many more ways. You could, this way that I did it, her dress is just, you don't see anything. It's very, very plain. But you could also, sorry, I just got to clean up. I just can't stop myself. So also you could do, I'm going to just flatten these edges out a little bit, give her a little bit more of a robe or a, I don't know what it is they would have worn back then. But I'm going to wrap it around her. But you could do it either way. Either way it looks great. So, and I need to actually take a little bit off. Just make sure her head is bigger than baby Jesus. So roll her head. And again, I like the more of a oval. I like something like that. That's just me. So while the dress is opened, I am going to go ahead and score the back of it. Whoops. Score the back of her head. And some slip. And then I want to basically do kind of what I did with baby Jesus. Not, I mean, I'm just going to wrap this around her like that. And I'm not going to close the bottom, but I kind of liked where it was just wrapped around her. Where's my brush? Clean up anything I need to clean up, because I won't be able to really reach much of her once I put her in. Okay, I am going to flare this out just a little bit, because I will be tucking this in. I just kind of like that there's a designated line there. Okay, so whoops. It's like I knew there was something wrong. I am just like fried. This is November 12th? 12th, Sunday, November 12th. And while my kiln fires, I am filming classes out here for you. Oh, I did that wrong. Actually, I'm just gonna So I cut this one way too far, but that's okay. I think I can fix it. Since I go in on Wednesday, today is while the kiln is firing. I actually have to fill it up again tonight. But I'm filling up Bab Morda, my old kiln. Why Sorsha is, as soon as she finishes, I can fire her up. I've got most of the stuff glazed. I got a few things I still got to finish. Okay, so just like we did with Joseph, and you know what? Just play around with how big that cut needs to be. It's not very big. It's just enough to take some of the fabric or the clay, just like you do with fabric, to get it to be able to turn or to fold. I tried this without, and you can do it without, but you get a completely different look. Hold on, I'll show you what it looks like. And I didn't really care for the look. It didn't seem like Joseph and Mary were like, I really like in this one where it seems like Joseph is just, you know, embracing his family, you know, encasing them, protecting them. I really like the way this looked, and I didn't quite get that with this one, which is the reason why I tried it without doing this dart, and the dart made the difference because it allowed that clay to really encase them. And so, but you try it. I mean, if you don't want to do the dart, if the dart's too much, too hard, if you're fairly new to pottery, try it without. There's no rules. Well, there are some rules in pottery, but just the rules of the clay, you know, but that's what dictates everything, is what the clay will allow you to do. Okay, so I've got my hood. So now I need to put my hood in here. And this you might have to, you know, adjust. Putting in here, let's see, let's push this hood down just a bit to get them to fit right. I might have needed to make a bigger dart. We'll find out. Because I like it with his chin resting on her. So we're just going to pull him up for just a second while we get her in. And I'm going to go ahead and score this. I'm going to set that in there. And I'm just going to score just lightly back here too. And then I'm just going to push her in there. And then come in with my, let's see. You're not going to see this, but I just can't help myself. I'll smooth that in. You're not going to see the back because Mary's going to go in front. Okay. So now we'll bring Mary in. And if she's a little short, just pull on that. Because sometimes if you cut her dress a little too short, you might have to pull on her dress. And then set her in there. Actually, I need to also score the back of her head. Let's see. I am going to move her up. Having a problem seeing too much bending down. And then come in here, score the back of her robe. And then she goes in there. Okay, so once you get her in there, I'm going to smooth the bottom of her clothes first. And then it's a matter of, you need to, like, I need to put her hood down. And now I can put his down. So, and then I really like, you push this out. My clay is actually stiffening up here. I kind of like that it's like arms, you know, the hood acts kind of like, I need to actually, sorry, I need to have this facing me. But having these come out on the side here, I really like. I don't know. It gives it movement. And movement is emotion. So now I'm going to come in here and make sure I don't have any of my, check all my seams. Because the last thing we'll do is add baby Jesus. And you can add a coil if you want. I will dry these slow under plastic for a little while. Okay, just making sure I have it the way I want it. Make sure I've got his hood the way I want it. So the shape of the hood will change depending on how big or how little you make that dart. Okay. All right, and then the last thing is you add baby Jesus. So I do want to make sure anything I can reach now before I add in baby Jesus. Okay, so you want to score the back of him. Technically, you wouldn't have to, because you could even glaze glue him in place. So just push him down. And there you go. You want to have him a little closer to Mary. Move him in. But I think this is just the sweetest little nativity, and the fact that the amazing Sandy, sometimes I will come in and just kind of, you don't have to do that. You could leave them separate, but I kind of like that they're, I like seeing the line, that there's two separate robes here. But I don't want it to look like a crack either. Okay, Now, I also have come in, this is just me personally, and just kind of pushed. To me, again, it's a movement thing. Also, then their robes are kind of sitting down. But there we go. All right. So I will link the template. Sandy is down recovering. She broke her arm this summer and it didn't heal right. And so they had to go in and do a bone graft, poor thing. So she, at least while she's down, she figured out she learned how to make a PDF and upload it onto Etsy so that you guys could grab it if you wanted to. But super, super cute nativity. This is actually B-Mix, and I dipped it into the Clayscapes Cream. And so glazing, super, super easy. I love the super, super easy glazing because I've got stuff in there that I'm finishing up that is not easy. Anyway, hope you found this helpful. Hope you can get muddy. And I don't know what I'm making next for you. We'll find out. And we will see you in the next video.